This saved my life. I went through the most difficult time you can imagine. And I was when I in 2014 when we started the Gladiators organization, I was running a construction company that was very busy. We had lots and lots of employees. We were doing so much more work. My wife was running the business side of the administrative side of books and all those things as small business owners do. It's a family business. I was going to school full time. I was working in the fire department full time. And then I was trying to run the Gladiators organization. And I was as thin can be. And I was doing and making decisions that were terrible for me. I was as red as you can imagine. I was selfish, treated my wife horribly, spoke to her like a employee and not even a good, like treated her poorly. I'm so embarrassed by how I treated her and how our relationship was because of my behaviors, because I was a red. I was cutting corners. I was making compromises in my deeply held beliefs. You know, I grew up in the church. I grew up in ministry. I grew up in knowing and understanding the truth, God's word, and living that out. And I had gotten so red, and one compromise led to another compromise, led to another compromise, to the point where I was addicted to pornography. I was stepping out on my wife, and I had ruined everything. And I finally came to my wife and I told her, it's over. I don't want anything to do with you. I want a divorce. And I came to her not because I'm noble. I came to her because I thought that was going to be the last straw, and she'd finally leave me and I would be able to go do whatever I wanted to do and live this life the way I wanted to do it, as selfish as self. I was as red could be. I was not buying into the culture. I knew the system, but I wasn't applying it to my life. And so it all culminated for me on a fire. My crew as a young officer we were running on a structure fire. We showed up late. We showed up the like third or fourth unit on scene, so a few minutes into the fire, and we get assigned to the rooftop. And at the time, our organization was doing rooftop ventilation, and so we were assigned to the rooftop to ventilate to try to get at this fire that was now grown into the attic space. So this was a very dangerous situation because the fire was growing all around us. We couldn't get to it. We're last ditch effort. Let's try to get through it vertically. And so my crew was up working on the rooftop, and we're trying to get through this, go through three different chains. So I was like, we're on our knees, doing this with axes at the very end. I get my crew off as we're about to make the final cut. I make the final cut myself, and I get my crew off the roof, and then I pop the hole, and then the fire ignites. And now I'm stuck at this hole, and I'm in the lowest of lows in my life. I'm as red could be. And now I'm stuck at this hole, and I'm convincing myself of all the reasons why I should just jump into this hole and take my life and be done with it. And I won't have to be accountable to my behavior. I don't have to be accountable to my wife. Don't have to be embarrass my kids about everything that's coming out about all of the selfishness that I'm doing. And so I'm stuck. I can't move. I'm convincing myself why I should just jump in, and that will take care of everything. And finally, I come back to coherency. A buddy of mine is on the rooftop. He's screaming at me to get off the roof. And so I come down, and for the next couple of months, I'm going through this process. I couldn't kill myself there. How am I going to do this and end my life without making a mess and leaving a mess, and can go out quietly without anybody knowing about my many failures and utter failures at the highest level. And I said before, my wife is my hero, and it's because of this. Because every day I watched her pray for me, pray for her husband that didn't deserve it, and apologize. Still fresh for me, but she prayed for me, and I watched her do that, and it literally changed my heart and my mind. And so then I started going back to my culture, what I knew, the truth that I knew in God's word, that he did forgive me because he paid for all that, even though I didn't deserve it. And the blue being a blue, and what I was being a red, and so I became aware. I realized that no, this was red behavior. What color am I? I need to be a blue, so I need to practice blue behavior. And so we went to counseling. I went to counseling, and through that process of watching her pray and not give up on us, and her devotion and her grit, her tenacity, she's an amazing woman that I don't deserve. And that through that process, I came I came back. I was redeemed. And now because of that, because of her, because of the system, because of this color system and the culture, I started buying in. Because this won't change you. This won't change your organization. Won't change anything if you don't buy it. Just knowing it's not enough. You got to practice this every day. That's how you build resiliency. You got to be a blue every single day in the difficult times. Trust the process. This takes time. You got to go through this fire. Don't give up. Trust the process. Buy in more. Leaders will dip their toe into this culture. Oh, this sounds good. That sounds good. I'll teach it a little bit. That's not enough. You can't go into your knees. You can't even go into your waist, and going into your chest is not going to help you in the water. You got to go all the way in. You got to submerge yourself into this. Apply the concepts, apply the mindset every single day.